What is up, everyone? What is up? Happy New Year's, everybody. I'm expecting that quite a few of you at least have plans, if at the very least, to probably go to bed early. No, I'm kidding. You're probably going to be staying up late. I am planning to do a New Year's stream tomorrow, New Year's Day stream tomorrow. Yeah, Happy New Year, Bengali. Happy New Year, Majestic. So yeah, I'm planning to do a New Year's Day stream tomorrow where we're going to be catching up on all the videos and stuff that, you know, react to and different tech and stuff like that, that we look at. But tonight is the regular, you know, planned schedule, just happened to fall on New Year's Eve. I'm not planning to go all the way till it officially becomes 2026. I do want to spend some time actually, you know, bringing it in with people IRL that I care about. So I have some plans towards the last hour or so, but we will be hanging out. Planning to play a little bit more Expedition 33 tonight. I have to tell you, I started playing that game. It's my first playthrough. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm sitting back like, why the hell didn't I play this earlier? Oh, right, because I have enough games in my library. I broke my rule. So my resolution for 2026 is to try and finish more games in my damn library that I already have. On another note, a buddy of mine hit me up a few hours ago and was like, hey, you planning on DEF CON? I'm like, yeah, I'm looking to it. I was gonna start getting my reservations and everything, you know, start figuring things out, even though the badges and all that aren't available yet to be pre-registered. Well, my hotel's already taken care of thanks to my buddy. So that was one of the bigger concerns, because that's always the most expensive part of DEF CON as a single block. Of course, you have the Vegas food and, you know, flight and all that, but the hotels during DEF CON get really expensive because during the actual days of DEF CON, hotel rooms can get to like $200-300 or more per night all across Vegas, because, well, it's a big convention and it happens to also overlap with Black Hat, so that week tends to be pretty big. So I will figure out my plans as well for going to B-Sides as we figure out the dates for that. I am looking at doing the DEF CON shoot. Gotta wait until more details are ready for that. So I'm getting, you know, ahead of the curve right now. There'll be a few more months until things happen, but there's a chance that I will be at DEF CON. More than likely there. What's up, Kara? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're having a happy new year. But yeah, next year I'm planning to be at DEF CON. As always, if you do happen to see me while I'm at DEF CON or even B-Sides, as long as I'm not in the middle of, you know, doing any purchase, as long as I'm, you know, not on a phone call, you know, anything like that, if you see me, say hi to me. I'm once again gonna try to get some sticker designs. I try to do a different sticker every year, or a few. Last year I came in with 4 stickers. I still got leftovers from last year, so probably still going to be giving out some more Signal Gate stickers, some more phishing and smishing stickers that I had from, you know, some Okta, you know, breaches. And then I'll come out with some new designs as well, like I usually do. I'm going to talk to my buddy, see if she can get whipping up some way ahead of time. What's up, Inebriated? Your name is very appropriate for tonight, I would say. So yeah, I'm starting to get, you know, some things in motion for DC34. We're looking at, I'm talking to my local DEF CON group. May have a cabana for the party and all that, but that's a whole other thing. We'll figure that out. You'll know if I get it when I'm in it. But the thing about the cabana area when it comes to the DEF CON parties is if you don't have a cabana or are invited by the people that have a cabana in that area, you're not allowed to go into that area. Like, they actually have, like, security to check you and stuff like that. So it's yeah, it's pretty fun, pretty interesting, but DEF CON's always a blast. Every year I make more friends. This year I have a lot of friends. It's kind of funny when I already have signal groups of all my friends that go to DEF CON, and we're already, like, talking about details and things we're gonna go do and all that. I'm gonna try to get the mini laptop up to spec for, going, but I was also debating, because I need a portable device to do note-taking, and I love my MNT Pocket Reform, do not get me wrong, it is great for what it does. But I was debating getting a Pixel tablet and installing Graphene OS on it and getting a keyboard for it. I think that might be a slightly easier approach, I could say, than the MNT Pocket Reform for this. I may end up getting both. We'll cross that bridge once we come to it. I'm definitely trying to lighten the load of the devices that I bring. Last year I had the lofty idea of maybe I can stream while I'm... No, it's not going to happen that way. So bring the phone that can, do the TikToks, some recordings, and I'll bring my DJI Pocket, so that I can do some recording. You're sad that you can't go to DEF CON? Aw, bummer. Have you seen those little gaming notebook things that one company makes with joysticks on it too? Are you talking about the Steam Deck? There's a few companies that do that, so you'd have to be a little bit more specific. And if you're talking about the one I think you're talking about that only comes in Windows, don't care for them. Personally, because Windows on low-power devices has just been a nightmare. It really has been long before Windows 11, long before I was even really a Linux person. That's just how it's always been. And Steam Deck has been proving that, because if you install Windows on the same device that you can run Linux on, like, what was it, that Lenovo Go or whatever the Steam Deck equivalent they have is, they've installed Windows 11 and SteamOS on the same device and seen better performance on SteamOS across most games. Your agency doesn't want us to go this year? Well, F your agency. My work hasn't paid for my conferences for 2 years in a row, and I'm basically going to be telling them when I have my one-on-one that this will be the last year that you choose to not pay for my conferences, one way or another. Either you're gonna start paying for them, or I'm going to find an employer that will be willing to pay for them and pay me more money. And I'm already leaning towards the new employer thing, I'll be completely honest with you. They've just been burning me so bad. And this is the problem that a lot of companies don't seem to realize, is good talent takes effort to retain, because the good talent will upskill themselves and eventually grow out of the position that you put them in, and if you keep trying to confine them, they will eventually leave. The reality that I've had for my entire career is I have never been promoted at any job I've been at. I've always given myself promotions by, all right, fine, you've kept me at the ceiling because you expect me to stay there? Well, F you, I'm gonna go somewhere else and give myself more money. I literally had one job I hopped to another, I pretty much doubled my pay. And then each one I've, had a pay increase from. We used to go the past decade, but new leadership has nixed it. Well, your new leadership is a bunch of frickin' morons, and I would make the case that if you're not investing in education of your staff, you are dooming your staff. And education is not these O'Reilly courses, is not these LinkedIn learning courses, or some online class, or saying, we'll pay for your certification. That does F all in the grand scheme of your cybersecurity education. Most of the things that I've learned in IT and cybersecurity came from connecting and networking with a lot of people and learning, along with them or from them, and continually growing these networks that we have to share information And most of those friends that I've gotten in the industry have been going to these conferences for the past several years. And if they don't see the value in that, it's time for you to see the value in yourself and find a door elsewhere. I don't care if you clip that entire section, and send that to them. Because that's the honest truth. Companies have huge issues with useless CEOs being conned by AI. They think IT is replaceable. Yeah, that's the ironic thing, is management and leadership is actually one of the most replaceable positions. If you think I'm lying, I've done this experiment with several different LLMs where it can effectively prioritize the work that needs to be going on and give tasks, delegate as needed. You feed it the information of the skill sets of the different people that you have there. I've done like these hypothetical situations, and it will be able to prioritize it and optimize different structures, how you should lay out the teams better. The reality is management and leadership is the most replaceable by AI, and they think the workers doing the actual work are the most replaceable, and they're getting burned consistently when they realize that's not the truth. What's your take on the CCNA as an entry-level cert? Well, I don't have a CCNA, first of all. I know a lot of people have it. In terms of networking, I hear good things about it. I hear about the Network Plus. Again, I don't have that cert. The only cert that I actually have is CISSP. I know, it's like kind of weird to say that's the only cert I have, because a lot of people are like, wow, that's kind of the one that you work up to. And I'm like, yeah. And then I'm working backwards because I technically start school tomorrow. So I have to start figuring out my schedule to do my classes and stuff and knock out these exams. And I'm working backwards because I'm going to WGU. Part of what they have you do is you got to go get your A+. You got to go get your Network Plus. You got to go get your Project Plus. You got to go get your Linux Plus and like all these things. And I'm sitting here like, really? You're making me go through basic IT stuff? Really? Like even my mentor's like, they assign you a mentor. Is like, you probably are going to knock out a lot of this stuff pretty fast. My goal is to hopefully get the bachelor's in 6 months or at least in 1 year. I haven't seen you since last year. Well, it's still in the past for me. How does the future look? Did you go into it with a DeLorean going 88 miles an hour? I got my CCIE voice 16 years ago. I won't get them. Yep, a ton of companies have been firing management, realizing they're not as needed. Yeah, well, especially middle management. Pardon me, I have not eaten, so, not trying to be rude, but I worked so hard I forgot to eat. I have CISA and TRISC from ISACA. I want to be a network auditor, and the CCNA is good. I mean, it's a cert. Here's the thing I will tell you. Certs don't guarantee the job. Point blank. They help you get the interview. The reality is, in most jobs, that criteria is given to HR. HR then looks up keywords. All you're really trying to do with these certs is get past the gatekeeper. So I've seen this firsthand. So I have a CISSP, which, if you know, covers cloud security as well. Maybe not directly like CCSP does, but there's a 70% overlap. You'll need to understand this for the context of what I'm about to say. I was dealing with HR that was like, yeah, but you didn't meet the criteria. We're looking for people that at least have a CCSP. And I'm like, and I have the CISSP. And they're like, well, what's that? And I'm like, that's the test that's even harder, that overlaps 70% from the same exact organization. Like, it's not even a question of which one has more. Like, if you ever look at the CCSP and CISSP textbooks like I brought out before, the CISSP is like 2.5 times the thickness. It's just pizza. Nothing that interesting. But, so yeah, I mean, certs are handy to have. But at the end of the day, no, very few hiring managers are actually going to look at, you know, your resume and be like, oh yeah, you got this cert, so we know you can do that. HR or the recruiter or whoever you're first talking to is. Once you start actually talking to the person that is going to be in charge of hiring, usually at least with some technical background, they're not going to give a crap about that, and they're going to want to actually feel you out. And then at that point, it's, are you BSing us? Are you a cultural fit? Does the team jive with you? That's basically what they're going to be looking at. Looking to build my networking knowledge with the CCNA. You can do it with that, but here's the reality. I didn't learn networking by going through any of those certification classes. I learned networking by home labbing, getting a pfSense, building a pfSense firewall, originally was monowall, reading their documentation, which in the introduction sections goes over a lot of the networking concepts. CIDR, VLAN, subnetting, subnet masks, all of that stuff. I learned that on my own. And if you can, because here's the thing, it's also going to matter about the experience you have. And if all you have is certs and no experience, it's going to burn you. And a lot of people don't realize you can turn your home lab into experience and knowledge that you have on your resume. A lot of people don't take advantage of that fact. They sit in the classroom, they don't do any tinkering, and then they find it's a hard time because hiring managers are going to see you got literally no experience. You're bottom of the barrel, entry level, and entry level in cybersecurity is not easy. I don't know where you're looking to go, but my advice would be you can pursue certs, but don't use certs in the mindset of, I'm going to learn something by doing this cert. Look at a cert as a validation of what you've learned. I've even taken study materials from different cert courses, studied from that, learned from it, and never taken the test because I couldn't afford it back in the day when you're a broke college kid. Happy New Year from Spain. Hey, Happy New Year. But yeah, I mean, I'm not poo-pooing certs. I'm not telling you not to get them. I'm telling you to change your mindset about when you think about going to get, knowledge around this stuff. A cert at most is a validation of the things that you've learned. And in terms of the job, a checkbox for HR to check off in order to let you through the gate. But ultimately, when it comes down to, and I've seen this firsthand, you get in front of a hiring manager, the teams that actually vet you and, want to see how you fit. If you just learned enough to vomit that knowledge on a test, but you didn't retain any of that knowledge, we're just going to see that you got a bunch of alphabet soup next to your name to look better, but you haven't learned to apply your knowledge. And that's what matters more, ultimately. Yes, certs are valuable, essentially, to, get through the gatekeeper, but yeah. I think the Euro Bros have it slightly different since it's a protected career. What's a protected career? The managerial side of it? But yeah, I mean, Europe does definitely have more label protections and things that we should definitely have in the USA. There's a lot of things the USA does backwards, and I know that from firsthand experience, having lived in Germany in one period of my life. Like taxes, how nice it was when I worked there. And I'm like, okay, so when do I get my tax form? How do I do my taxes? I'm like, no. You don't need to do the taxes. I'm like, but I owe the government money. And they're like, no. We take care of that. And I'm like, So I don't need to fill out a form, do the prep, and then send that in. Like, no, it's taken care of. I'm like, what if I overpay and I get money back? Oh, no, it's gonna come right back to you. It's just done. It blew my mind. Meanwhile, we have this corrupt system that lobbyists literally lobbied for to make the tax code so complex because this is how it works in America. Government, you owe us money. We know how much you owe us. Cool. Can you let us know how much we owe? No. You got to figure it out. And if you're wrong, we're going to come fine you and possibly even throw you in jail if you do it enough. So why can't you just tell us? No, you got to do that. But it's so complicated. Well, here's a guy you can pay money to do that. Oh yeah, so I got to take all these tax forms. Yep, you have to take all these tax forms. Whatever interest you gain in your bank account, whatever your Roth IRA, your 401k, your W-2 or 1099, depending on how you do things. And then you have to do all your deductions and all of that. It's so bull here in the USA how it's backwards. Don't even get me started on healthcare. That's a whole other nightmare. Engineers protected and since certs feed it. Ah, interesting. Yeah, Iceland is the same about tax, like Germany. Yeah, a lot of EU is similar about taxes. My ex was British, and she even was like, yeah, it's just done for us. And then she got a refund, and it was just back in her account. Didn't have to do anything. Sup, Govy Cat? Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. I got a bunch of people saying Happy New Year on all the sites I'm streaming to. Do you enjoy working with IPv6? No! If you want to get a networking person to cuss you out, tell them you're switching to IPv6. There's a reason why a lot of businesses haven't moved to IPv6. IPv6 is trash. Yeah, pretty much. I understand we have exhausted all public IPs on V4. I understand needing to move to V6, but God. I played an April Fool's prank on the networking team in the past. And I said, yeah, so apparently it came from leadership that we're going to have to move to IPv6 for the entire infrastructure. The death glare that I got from the entire networking team. Was it great for April Fools? Absolutely. One of them figured it out because they're like, wait, it's April Fools. And the UK hasn't moved to IPv6 because there's, yeah. So there's only my cell modem, that's the backup internet for my whole house, is on IPv6. And then I have it's basically a router as well, so then it feeds into my firewall as like a double NAT basically, but it's a backup internet. That's the only V6 that I have. I actually disable V6 at the WAN side of my firewall, so my cable modem doesn't even have the opportunity to provision me a V6 address. Do I do C programming? No. If anything, I do more of what we would call scripting with Python, Bash, and whenever I hate myself, PowerShell. I blocked IPv6 from my router because it caused more problems being enabled with sites being weird. Oh yeah, that'll happen very often, which is partially why I disabled it. There's still a lot of weirdness. You paused your... What'd you say, Vampire? You paused your... hawk shirt? Your rooster shirt? I have no idea what you said with that emoji. But yeah, in a little bit, we'll be doing some gaming on Linux and chilling. Tomorrow, I plan to be on for an extra stream for New Year's Day. I'm going to do some cleaning of the house, and then I'm hoping to be on a little bit earlier. I'm going to shoot for 3 or 4 in the afternoon, Eastern Standard, a little bit later. Did you learn German, or was English enough to live and work there? English was enough, but Steichen ein bisschen Deutsch. The only reason I actually knew a little bit of German was I figured that it's actually very close to Yiddish, so certain terms adjusted. I didn't speak it that often. I would mostly conduct business and stuff in English, but I would still try to learn the language. It's the same thing as when I was in Morocco, I tried to beef up my French. Oh, that's a hen in the tie. Oh, goddamn. You're wrong! You're wrong, vampire! Okay, my German has really gotten that bad. I can't read it that well. Was it Faustus? You're gonna have to, like, put that in English. It's been a few years since I actually did it, okay? And I just realized how bad my German is now. That's the problem when you don't... It's like a muscle. Speech is like a muscle. If you don't exercise it, it will, get weaker. Happy New Year, fella. Best wishes from Germany. Hey, thank you. L'chaim from my neck of the woods. Or as we say, to life. Trying to get into Linux. Is the RHCSA any good? Which one's that? Acronyms. Oh, Red Hat Certified System Administrator. So, it's okay, but it's a Red Hat specific course. So, I'm gonna let you pivot a little bit. Linux Foundation actually has some courses. Some of them are actually free, and the Linux Foundation is actually the organization behind Linux themselves. So let me see if I can find them. Hold on. Here we go. Some of these end up being free. Some of these are a little bit more expensive. Sometimes they have free courses. Okay, so, like, they have Kubernetes courses, LSTIO, open source. Yeah, so they have some beginner courses over here. You've got that. CompTIA also has Linux Plus. Now, I'm not saying the Red Hat Certified System Administrator is a bad thing, but it is specific to Red Hat. If you're trying to get into Linux in general, check out if the Linux Foundation has any of these courses that'll make sense for you. And a lot of these are different. Like, there's even, I scrolled past earlier. I mean, these are not too expensive also if you want to do that for introduction. But you can see there's a lot of free courses here. Introduction to Kubernetes, Introduction to serverless on Kubernetes. Would it also help me in jobs? It depends on what route you want to go. Generally speaking, the CompTIA, they have a Linux Plus certification. That's generally more well-known. Again, not saying the Red Hat Certified System Administrator is a bad one. If you want to go for it and have that in under your belt, it'll be great. But the reality is, a lot of HR's not going to know what that is. Whereas, because you have to remember, HR is pretty much a moron when it comes to a lot of tech things. Learn with Cisco, Netacad, Linux Unhatched. Don't know what that is. But yeah, again, people have different paths here. if you're trying to learn the general knowledge, as I always say, home lab is definitely beneficial. A lot of people don't know that you can actually put those home labbing skills into a blog, like a WordPress, a Tumblr, whatever. Link that to your, resume, and then you can actually put the skills that you learn under the skills that you've attained. Most jobs, the hiring managers want to see how you've applied the knowledge. Now, certain jobs will have the criteria, especially if HR is the one doing the checking, of check boxes for certain certs. So for specific Linux certs, I would check around Indeed, LinkedIn, and other positions. Just check what the general jobs are asking for if you want to go get specific certs, because those are the check boxes you're going to have to go after. Happy New Year, everyone. I don't want to vibe code anymore. What coding language should I start to learn? Depends on what you're trying to do. I generally do things in Python. Now, here's what I'll tell people. The reality is, AI companion coding is becoming more and more of a common thing that I've been seeing a lot of job postings require that people have ability and knowledge to prompt and be able to use AI for, coding assistance and stuff like that. But as I always say, vibe coding in itself isn't a bad thing if you learn to vibe check. What that means is understand what you're doing in the code. So rather than just take, ChatGPT, Copilot, or, any of those, or Claude or whatever, and ask it to just do a thing, have it do the thing, then explain the thing, then understand the thing. My home lab is more beneficial than the clearance I have. I would agree with that. I've learned more from my home lab, and there's a lot of concepts that I can wrap my head around that a lot of people that I work with haven't. I can save. What the hell? Did it cut off? God damn it, Stream Elements. It cut off the alert. Thank you for the Prime sub there, Red-Bearded Viking. Thank you. Appreciate that. At least the receipt printer still works. But yeah, the home lab definitely, I always tell people that's one thing many people sleep on. Because I'm going to tell you this straight out. I've been in the position, and probably will be in the position in the future, of helping hire people. And if given a choice between someone who has an alphabet soup of credentials but no home lab, and the person at home labs, I'm probably going to lean towards the person at home labs. Because I can actually, get a better grasp of, do they understand these concepts? I used to home lab when I got my CCNA. Yeah, I still home lab. My home lab's going on, I don't know how many iterations I'm on, like my 4th or 5th. But I've been home labbing for like 15 or more years. Yeah. It's been a long and strange trip. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to mark that clip as well to know to go back to when the sub went out, because I'm working on Stream Elements and I'm trying to get on their butt about the fact that this is happening. It's randomly cutting the alerts short, because what's supposed to happen is a sound plays, the little, music we have going when a sub goes, like you heard it's going off, and then TTS is supposed to play. Saying who joined and everything. Is there a good way to present the ideas projects I have done in a lab? Yeah, absolutely. So you may have came in a little late, but I'll repeat myself. Make a blog, like a WordPress, a Tumblr, whatever. If you can, try to get a proper domain to, professionalize it a little bit. Like, I've got Chief Geek 3D. I point people to things there. I need to put more on my blog, but I also have videos and content and all that, so it's a little bit different. And then what you can actually do is you can put in under the skills section, you know, the various things that you have skills in. Put the blog that you have also in the top, you know, when you have your information, your name, address, you know, phone number, email. And when you buy that domain, by the way, for that blog or anything, professionalize your email. That jumps out more than an @Gmail, Outlook, or anything like that. Because if you have like @Timmy.com, you know, you can point that to a Proton if you want. Or Office 365, whatever you want to do. And that helps sell things a little bit more. Plus, you can do some fun things when you own your own domain. I know some people will say you can do tagging on Gmail, but you can do like aliasing to have it come in. So like with Proton, I apply for jobs under a different email often. So that way I know any email coming in from here then has a filter rule to tag it as high priority. So then I can filter by high priority and then see what emails are coming in that are related to the job applications. Anyway. Oh yeah, you can use GitHub as vlogs. That's another good thing. So, you can use gists and stuff. In fact, if you haven't seen this, I'll share mine. And I can share how you do this, actually. So, if no one has been aware of this, I have a GitHub. I put a lot of my projects there. And you can actually customize it. Very simple to do. So you can see, like, I kind of have it like a blog, more or less, or at least as a page for me to, like, hey, you know, this is me. This is what I do. Here's all my socials. You know, support the work, all the links. You know, a little blurb about me, that, content creation, the home lab stack, and some open source projects I wanted to have stand out, as well as these are a couple of Vercel apps that I have that actually get up-to-date stats and generates an image saying the languages that I've used in these projects, the total contributions I've done, and my total GitHub stats. So, yeah, you can totally do that. And that's very simple to do. This was something a lot of people don't know. But all you gotta do is make a new repo that's just named as your username. So this is a markdown file. All you need to do is make a readme.md in a repo that you own with the same as your username, and whatever you write in here then becomes your profile page. So there's ways you can do that. And then, of course, you can, like, link in there, you know, your other blogs you want to have people go at and look at and things like that. But the main idea is you want to, you know, present them with a way to see the projects that you do. And then you can showcase the skills and all that. Just remember, your resume just needs to be a condensed, you know, short summary, more or less, of your work history, what you did at those respective jobs, what your skill set is, and then maybe a cover letter. And the cover letter should then explain, you do the home labbing and stuff like this. You can go to this to, you know, check that out, anything like that. ChatGPT and even a professional resume writer can help through all of that to get it ATS optimized. But yeah, the main thing is just find a way to publicly log that information and have that in a presentable way. I only suggested GitHub because some HRs may not want to click on an external domain that isn't known. Yeah, they click on domains all the time for a part of their job, but yeah, I mean, I do use GitHub as mine because that's where I tend to be more active than my own little blog I have. And then I update this more often than not. And this doesn't have all the projects I actually do. This is just the standout ones because I want them to know, hey, I've made my own automated security tools. Hey, I've been working on pfSense and I, can do SIM integrations. I've done AI work over here. I got some networking knowledge over here. I've got some Linux tooling. I've got some, various other tools that then can showcase my automation capabilities and that I've actually worked with APIs and, that I can do automated security patching and, for vuln management and, of course, just some goof-off projects too, like Yo Mama as a Service. many ways you can, you know, skin this cat. The main way is just to make it more palatable for the people that are reading it. My lab was an old i5 Dell Optiplex 5040 for a long time. It's been a good workhorse. Just need to upgrade the RAM. Uses low voltage RAM, which I don't have on hand. Hey, I started with a Dell Optiplex, I want to say 3040 or something like that. Maybe a little bit more. No, there were machines before that. So the Dell Optiplexes I got secondhand when I was working from an MSP. They used to have computers we'd cycle out. And the rule of thumb was, when I worked at an MSP, whoever does the work on a client gets first dib on the secondhand, you know, parts. The only rule was we don't take drives. We always destroy the drives. Fair enough. And of course, I would claim a lot of stuff, server equipment, things like that. But yeah. The main thing is, like, because a lot of people focus on, like, oh, this is too expensive to get this hardware to do that. And I'm like, you don't have to get brand new. Go on Facebook Marketplace. People are literally giving away computers right now because they don't support Windows 10 anymore. And they need to get on Windows 11. And you're trying to do Linux stuff or FreeBSD? Psh, perfect. Or maybe you get computers at like $30, $40 a piece. There's one that, get another service we had to scrub completely. No GitHub stack with the new leash. Good God, find a new job. Sounds like this leadership don't know what they're doing. Have you seen the Linus Torvalds and Linus Tech Tips video? No. I don't really watch Linus Tech Tips. I just haven't in a while. I kind of want to watch it, but when I looked at it, it was about 50 minutes or so, and I'm like, do I really want to watch a video this long with Linus Sebastian? It's kind of surreal to see Torvalds in his video. I mean, I understand Linus, the Linus Torvalds when I'm referring to Linus. He's a big name. I think, what was it? They offered to make him a computer. He also wants to go around talking more about Linux. Linus has actually been, I think, one of the more approachable tech geniuses. And I'd say he's an actual tech genius, unlike, you know, some that just happen to have a lot of money. Elon Musk! He seems like one of the most chill people. Like, if you ever see him in any of the interviews and, you know, documentaries he's been in, like, I'd love to meet him and shake his hand. Him and Eric S. Raymond, just because they're veterans that got us here, as well as, I know there's some words that people have said about Richard Stallman and things like that, you know, but yeah, I'd like to at least shake their hands and, yeah, they made him a beefy computer. Well, he needs it. And Level 1 Techs made a computer for Eric S. Raymond, I think, many years ago, too. Yeah, Linus has never been a BSer. He's always been straightforward. And that's what I like about him. He's never BS'd people. If you've ever read his comments on the Linux kernel, he is definitely a lot more chill than he used to be, but he's always been a straight shooter. Which 3D printer would you recommend when the Bamboo P2S is not available? Well, first of all, I don't care for Bamboo, period. I don't care for the company. I don't care for the things they've done. They've apparently done some proprietary BS to lock people out, parts, all that. Like, there were a lot of people that weren't happy. I definitely am more of a fan of Prusa. They are a little bit more expensive, but I have two Prusa Mark III S's I've heavily modified, and eventually I want to get their Prusa Core, the larger printer they have eventually. But the Enders are not too bad. Elegoo, I think, has some. I haven't kept up with all the different ones, but Creality has not been that bad. I know Bamboo's claim to fame is, hey, you can buy the printer, you can basically just get it to work immediately, but the problem is, at what price are you paying? And I don't mean monetarily, I mean in terms of your freedoms with the software and the hardware. Steve Jobs was cool when I used to work at Apple. I still say Steve Wozniak was the better Steve. Could we ever start a tech-based XM satellite radio? So satellite radio is more about getting bands. That would be more about getting FCC or other compliances around the world, wherever you want it to go, to be able to actually broadcast over the bands and then have satellites to broadcast it. The licensing and actual satellite stuff is the more complicated side of it than the actual, like, radio part of it. That's the interesting thing after I've been doing ham radio, is you realize radio is an art and a science. It's complex, but can be as complex as you want it to be. Quality rise, you've read bad things about Creality. Well, here's the thing. No one recommends using a Creality stock. Everyone I know that has a Creality has modified them. Everyone I know that has a Prusa has also modified them. But, here's the thing. If you get a Bamboo, yes, you'll have a printer that's more plug and play. And, you won't really learn much about how the 3D printer operates, per se. You'll learn how that 3D printer operates, but you won't learn a lot of the ins and outs about it. Creality and Prusa actually taught me how 3D printing itself works at a fundamental level, and a lot of the ins and outs, that now I understand a lot of things more. If you have the money, get a Prusa. Hands down. That's always going to be my recommendation. They're completely open sourced. And that's one of the things I really love about them. Because here's the other problem that we're having. If it's proprietary, and we don't have access to the firmware that they're using, we don't know what funny business they're going to do in there. Like, there have been lawmakers that are ignorant of technology as a whole that have been advocating to have 3D printers. I don't care what your position is on this. Let me finish the thought. Block the ability to 3D print guns and stuff. Well, how are they going to detect that? How do you prevent false positives for that? Is the gun going to be expanded to, like, they can't make a rubber band gun? A tic-tac gun? You know, like, these are the questions that you're going to have, and how is it going to detect that? Is it going to have to be baked into the slicer? Is it going to have to be a firmware level where we're now going to have more processing at the actual 3D printer device than more just the Arduino we have to do XYZ coordinates? Wired has a good article about that recently. Yeah, this has been a discussion for a while. I've 3D printed firearm stuff. It's not that hard. It's just more getting the materials and stuff like that in the right ways. Of course, I haven't done content on it because, you know, that's a big no-no. But I've done it. And, to make it very clear, it is 100% legal to do what I've done. Where I'm at. Before you do anything like that, consult your local, state, and federal regulations and laws. I am not an attorney. And when in doubt, talk to an actual attorney. Chief, by a new law, you will have to help make IPv6 for satellites. Yeah, I'd rather neck myself on that. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of 3D printing options out there. I would tend to just argue, go for the most open source options available. And that tends to be right now, as far as I know, Creality and Prusa. There may be others out there. I just haven't kept up on the scene as much. I want pizza now. I saw your pizza. Well, nobody's stopping you from ordering a pizza. And we're going to play Claire Obscure Expedition 33 in a little bit. Of course, we can still talk about everything that we've been talking about. Tech, cybersecurity, jobs, whatever, as we go on. Don't make a homemade one. You gonna spin the dough yourself? You spin me right round. Let me give Korea a shot. As a German with all measurement equipment, I don't want to be disappointed. Well, Chief is falling behind on review on stream. Well, as I said earlier, I'm planning to be on stream tomorrow. A little bit earlier, too, at that. So that way I can go through the review on stream stuff. But if you're a German and you want precision, like I said, it may be a little bit more. Prusa. Prusa is made in the Czech Republic, too, so it's within the EU for you. And, whereas Creality is Chinese, and, you know, there can be some complaints and things around that. I'm not hating on Creality because they're Chinese, but I'm saying that Prusa definitely, if given the opportunity, if given the choice between the two, and we take money aside from the equation here, Prusa hands down every time. There's a reason why both of my 3D printers are Prusa. How are you live on Linux on TikTok? I tried it and it was super laggy. By the power of open source, I use Open Broadcaster Studio. And I'm also a simulcast to 4 platforms at the same time, including TikTok. Is Google Pixel a good alternative to iOS? I would say a Google Pixel is a good iPhone alternative when you install Graphene OS. The only caveat you may have when installing Graphene OS is that it won't work with Google Wallet because it's an unsigned firmware. But I like Graphene OS a lot more. But to get around that, if you still want to use Google Pay, Google Wallet, all that, get the Google Pixel Watch, preferably with the cell phone plan, and have that do the pay stuff. I was actually looking at doing that myself until I heard something about the Google Pixel and then the Android open source project getting a wrench thrown in it for the Google Pixel phones for Graphene and Calyx and all that. So I'm waiting to see what official Graphene's going to release. Because I still have my Pixel 7a and it's still fine. K2 is okay, but the extruder can break when using tougher filament. Okay, so basically, don't use nylons and stuff like that. Aren't 3D printer parts less precise than... No. It's all in how you build it. This is a 3D printed case for my soldering iron. What do you think of that precision? That was made on a Prusa. That was made on my Prusa. You just have to know your printer. And the honest truth is, there's a lot of people that will tell you they can get better prints out of a Prusa than a Creality, at least when it's completely stock. Got the Trezor little wallet that I made here. Got the Kaleidocycle little fidget toy over here. Got my 3D printed Pikachu fidget spinner. These all came off of Prusa, by the way. Got the stand over there. We've got the USB flash drive SD card holder stand over here. We've got the trackball mouse from Ploopy, but I 3D printed the case myself because I wanted that two-tone color. And the buttons, this entire thing, that's one solid piece right here. Well, there's 3 pieces: the base, the little cup in there, and this. Oh yeah, and then the little dowel holders in there. And the buttons are part of the one piece. That's clicky. So don't kid yourself that just because it has metal parts that it's not going to be as precise. The precision comes down to how you calibrate your printer, how fine your nozzle is potentially. The times you live in where your watch is a cell phone plan. I know, right? It's a weird world we live in, where my cell phone has a better plan than my original iPhone did. Funny, isn't that? Alright, just changing the category over here. Clair Obscure. There we go. Prusa's nice, but upgraded to a completely homebrew printer here. Yeah, that's fine. But you can also 3D print your 3D printer using a Prusa. You can 3D print another 3D printer using a Prusa. Prusa open sources the entire build of materials, so... I mean, there's a lot of good homebrew 3D printer projects out there. There's like the Core XY. There's, I think, like, what is it, the Voron or whatever? What's your opinion on the Unify appliances? So I don't like the Unify gateways, but I like their access points and switches. And I use Unify switches and access points in my rack. I know you're not throwing shade. I'm just saying. There's a lot of options out there, but if introducing people to 3D printing and their budget allows for it, Prusa, hands down, every day, all day. The Mark IV, I think, is the basic model they have now, but I want to get their Core XY. I'd love to get the Prusa XL with the 5 heads. That'd be great to do. I want to get that large Core XY, and I want to get the one with the multi-tool. Hey, Hans. Happy New Year. You think privacy is dying? I think it was for a while, but I think we're starting to see more people have a resurgence in it. Because the problem that we've been seeing... I'll finish this thought, then we'll get over to the gaming on Linux segment. We can still chat and everything like that.
Kick ass. I can save money now and there. One can eat, get money in the daytime, even count it when I sleep. Wake up to getting bread, bitch. I do this for the streets. ADHD.
Red-bearded Viking 85 gifted Hansk to sub. Red-bearded Viking 85 gifted a tier 1 sub to Hans CCT. They have given 2 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you for that. See, that alert fired off fine. But yeah, thank you for that. Really appreciate that. Happy hacking, buddy. So do I think privacy is dying? I think it was for a while, but I think people are starting to wake up to the fact that the concerns people had that they once dismissed as paranoia, oh, you're just wearing a tinfoil hat, were legitimate concerns that people were worried about that have only come to reality here. Okay. Let's put all politics aside, but we're going to get into things that are slightly political to express my point here. We had Roe v. Wade overturned. which then criminalized what was legally protected action. We've seen state governments criminalize women who choose to leave the state to go get medical care that should be a choice between them and their doctor, and criminalize them for getting the action done outside the state. So they're being criminalized for something they choose to do outside the state and charged in their state. And anyone found, potentially corroborating with those people in that case could be criminally liable themselves, which then means people have to understand that you can no longer discuss these in open platforms. Like, you can't just go to Facebook Messenger and all that. You're going to have to consider things like Signal, or at the very least, and it's got a whole other set of metadata problems with it, WhatsApp. I don't care for WhatsApp if you haven't figured out. I think a lot of people are picking up on this. The ICE enforcement right now, how they've been cracking down on different, protests and things like that. I think people are starting to become aware that they need their privacy. The problem that we have, at least in the United States, is we don't actually have a right to privacy. It's a complete misnomer when people are like, I have a right to privacy. No, you do not. Now, in Europe, they do. In Canada, they do. In South Africa, they do. And believe it or not, in China, digitally, you have more digital rights in privacy than America. I know some people are ready to type away in chat and be angry. Listen to me. In Europe, they have GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation. In South Africa, they have, is it POPIA? And then in Canada, they have PIPEDA. In China, they have PIPL. All of these are legislative frameworks to guarantee the right to privacy for people when online, and many of them also include the right to be forgotten. However, in the USA, we have a problem with data brokers. The only reason that companies like Delete Me exist, which, by the way, I'm a customer of theirs, I do like them. I've been using them for many years, not poo-pooing them on them for any reason. But you've got Incogni, you've got Delete Me, you've got Aura, you've got all these different companies. They only exist because of that fundamental lack of right to privacy in the United States, where everyone is allowed to buy and sell your information, and that ends up being the biggest vector that people get compromised through and get their social security numbers and all that stolen. The biggest data dumps have come off of the result of data brokers leaking this data. We had the MC2 breach. There was a bigger breach than that. National Public Data, which literally leaked out people's phone numbers, addresses, social security numbers, things like that. Now, I think another problem that you have is people just have this laissez-faire of my data's probably out there and leaked anyway, and that's the wrong approach that people should be taking with that. But I think we're starting to see privacy come back and people to understand the right to privacy, especially in the cases of where we're seeing the UK, where we're seeing even the EU try to go with the chat control. In the UK, they have the UK Online Safety Act. In America, they've been trying to do similar things to the UK Online Safety Act, but so far, a lot of those efforts at the state level have been defeated. Thankfully, what is it, from Net Choice, I think it is. People are becoming aware of the right to privacy now because they're starting to see in the UK, in order to have access to regular services that you want to access, regular social media sites, you have to hand over an ID. And they're seeing the problem with that is that their data is getting leaked. Look at all the IDs that were leaked from Discord support in connection to the UK Online Safety Act requirements. We know for a fact companies that handle a lot of that data don't handle it responsibly. We saw the T-App. The T-App was an app that was designed to give women a safe space to be able to discuss, potential predatory behavior of men, all that kind of thing. I'm not going to go on the sociological discussion of that. I'm going on the cyber discussion of it. They gave a promise to their users that their identification information would only be used to prove that they are a woman, and would delete the data in a timely manner. Well, we saw that they held on to that data for several years. That data wasn't even protected or encrypted at rest or anything properly. It was in a bucket that was exposed to the internet, and all you had to know was the right endpoint, and then boom, wide open, downloaded all the data, and thousands of women now got doxxed with locations, even with their licenses. And that's why I think more people are becoming more aware of these privacy-related issues, especially as you educate them. So, where privacy was once not really that much of an issue, I think it's starting to come back. We're talking about data privacy as a whole. The T-app just happened to be part of that discussion. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's hilarious so much as it was really incompetent development done by the app developer. It really was. It was a big amount of egg on their face. But, yeah. Politicians here in Norway want age limits on social media. They're using the UK and Australia as an example to implement it here in Norway. The problem is, the UK has effectively shut down a lot of their business avenues because of these ID requirements. And Australia has too. Now, I'm not saying I necessarily disagree with the idea that kids shouldn't be on social media until they're a certain age. I'm not disagreeing with that idea. But I think that's ultimately a parent's right to do, rather than an individual's, rather than a company, government's. There's a big fight to educate people in the EU about privacy, which is ironic, seeing as the EU is the leader in digital privacy rights. Give me a sec, I'm just making sure the audio works, because I'm going to still schmooze on all this while I play Claire Obscure and everything, but I do want to at least get that fired up. Settings, make sure we have the audio working. Okay, so I got to...
Front, left.
Okay, so it's that one. I always have to do this thing where, for some reason, I have to hit it once.
Front, left.
And then it works on the combined output. Okay. So now we got audio there. Cool. An app designed to snitch on people snitched on the users. Oh yeah, and the T-app wasn't the only one that was guilty of doing that. There was an app, I forget what it was called, but it was made in relation to calling out the people. Again, I don't care what your politics are about this subject here. When Charlie Kirk had passed, a lot of people were, celebrating it. There was an app that people made to track down and cancel the people that were celebrating it. That app themselves had a T-like exposure where the users of said app had their information exposed. So it's an overall systemic problem where you have developers that just don't know how to do the security side of things. And a lot of the reasons why these apps have any problems, it's two parts. So, you have developers that, one, vibe coding is a part of it. They're vibe coding without vibe checking and doing things in insecure manners. Two, a lot of the DevOps teams are wearing too many hats in these startup companies. And these companies are growing often very fast, and they're not hiring proper cybersecurity professionals. And by virtue of the fact that they're not hiring cybersecurity professionals, they run into the issue of, they just don't have the resources. Like, there's a friend of mine that has a company. They have no cybersecurity person, and they keep saying, we need a cybersecurity person. The DevOps person is doing all this. The DevOps person doesn't understand all the security practices, and they're doing DevOps, as well as DevSecOps, and general security on top of it. And they are clearly not understanding all of the, risks that they are taking on and everything, and the issues that they keep running into. Is this it? Oh yeah. Gestural Village. I feel like privacy in the world is a myth unless you're using Molvad and other privacy tools. So, Here's the thing. The myth is that using privacy tools makes you more private. It's not it. Privacy is more of a philosophy and a mindset than it is a series of tools. There is no tool that is a silver bullet. Molvad can't help you and be private if when you connect over Molvad, you're going to sites that ruin your privacy, like Facebook. That's just one example. You can easily be more private if you know how to be private and at least configure your browser and not access certain things in certain ways without a VPN. That's one of the things. Don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on VPNs. They are a useful tool for many different things. But they're not... I mean, like, I've seen people that are like, oh, I'm on Tor browser, so I'm completely anonymous. Well, what are you doing on Tor? Oh, yeah, well, I go to Facebook. I mean, well, you're logging into things. If you log in, you're immediately giving information that they can fingerprint you on. Molvad has DNS leaks, too. Yeah. But that's also why you want to have, you know, you got to be worried about DNS. It goes over port 53, so you're going to want to do, what is it, DNS over HTTPS or DNS over TLS. One uses port 443, the other uses port 853. But either way, you want to have a encrypted and DNS connection. And that's not even using any special tool. That's literally just configuring your firewall appropriately, or network settings. Now, Firefox, out the box, uses DNS over HTTPS. So you can effectively help mitigate a lot of those.
It wasn't that.
You're using a VPN and spoofing your fingerprint, but you're not changing your behaviors. It's useless. Exactly. That's a better way to put what I was saying. It's more about behaviors and mindset. And that's why I get upset with a lot of these influencers that are hawking VPN services, and they're selling them to be these things grander than they actually are. Do you know the only time I really use a VPN? It's when, shall we say... I have it. I only use it in times when I wave the pirate flag, and in times I want to present that I'm coming from another country for testing. And we're also talking about when I'm not using a VPN I created myself for my own tunnels, but I'm also going to be doing away with my tunnel for my own home network in favor of zero trust network access. That's a whole other discussion. And aside from that, the only time I have my VPN on all the time is when I leave my home network and I'm using public Wi-Fi. When you use over a VPN, too, it gets correlated to you anyway. Yeah. Especially if you have your payment information. How does one guarantee that that VPN service is not actually logging your information? Molvad at least gives you the ability that you can pay them in Monero or even cash, or at least Bitcoin, but that's pseudo-anonymous. It's not fully anonymous like Monero is, but that's a whole other discussion. Where they don't even have an email to tie to you. Proton, I think, is a nice middle ground between, like, super private, but still having the ability to work with Netflix and Hulu and all those streaming services. Cloudflare, ZTNA? No, I'm going to be probably using TwinGate, it looks like. DNS over HTTPS isn't secure by any means in the US, especially with new certificate issuing rules.
There are so many questions like
I would dispute that, because it also depends on where you're going.
Noko said you could help us cross the sea.
Others have passed through here.
The influencers today are just selling their share of the VPN through their links. Oh yeah. Look, I'm affiliated with Proton. I've never hidden the fact that I'm affiliated with them. But I'm also honest about it. I don't use Proton because of their VPN service. Their VPN service happens to be included with their overall privacy suite. And I like Proton Pass. I like Proton Mail. I like what they're doing with, you know, being able to be a Google Docs replacement instead of using their stuff and de-Google yourself. Proton's fake privacy. They 100% have data logs. I think Proton's been tested in court, and that's not true. The only data Proton's been able to give out
We already defeated
is
your ultimate
recovery email data, which they've been open to say is not private. Yeah, Proton has been very open. Go read their documentation. They even have their VPN app open sourced. Proton also launched their own keyboard? Really?
The stranger.
What's up, Bullocks? It's been a while since you've been here. Why are so many free VPN web extensions? What's the cache? Well, the reality is, in the majority of cases where you are not paying for the product, you are the product. Proton has their own authenticator app. It's built into Proton Pass, but I don't use the authenticator app side of it. I use YubiKeys. I use the TOTP in a YubiKey for that. Man, good thing we were good guys in this chat. Yeah, pretty much. They report you if you commit a crime according to Swiss law. Well, that's in general, that's the thing I always tell people. They're always upset that, you know, like, oh, you know, Proton, you know, handed over this data that, you know, they requested of me. Well, that's only what Proton actually has access to. They've proven that they're encrypted at rest. And the only thing they, like, what was it, the one case that I could think of where they revealed the information of somebody who was threatening a congressman or something on Twitter, was they found out they had a Proton mail or something like that, and they went to Proton about this email, and they said, well, we can't give you access to their emails or anything, but we can tell you this is their recovery email. That is open because it has to be accessed to be able to do its function of recovery. And by the way, the recovery email is optional. That recovery email was tied to like a Yahoo or a Gmail or something like that, and then from that point on, they were able to pull the thread and find the person's real information. The reality is you cannot expect companies to take the bullet for you and help you completely break the law because they have a liability as well. They can only do so much, and that's where operational security comes in play. So I always tell people, when in doubt, just don't do it. Claire Obscure got caught using AI for making new DLC update. My understanding was they used some AI for placeholders, but they've been replacing it with their actual stuff. And I also say, I don't have an issue with developers and stuff using AI as long as they do it so ethically. The difference is when you're using AI to replace a job, rather than when you're using AI as an assistive tool in your job. That's where I got the, that's where I draw the line. Does YubiKey come close to an HSM to poor people? Yes. And YubiKey also has an HSM module directly. Theirs is actually reasonably affordable. Reasonably being the operative word. It's still a few $100s for their actual HSM model. But YubiKeys are really excellent. I have about a dozen YubiKeys for myself. I recommend them all day long. I am affiliated with them too. I'm actually a Yubico ambassador. But I don't think I've run across any cybersecurity person yet that's like, I don't like YubiKey. I think everyone's been looking at YubiKey as like the gold standard of hardware security keys. You can resurrect with the sacred river. You guys do. Wait, what? You can resurrect a gestural? Okay. Your beatdown is in order. Oh, hello, good humans. How do you do? Join the gestural bazaar. They apparently have a closed LLM as well. I haven't played with it. I generally just run them locally, like Gemma 3 and Phi 3. Who has a local LLM? Are we talking about Proton? Oh yeah, Proton has the Luna AI. It's okay. I've been requesting them open up the API so we premium users and all that can actually use it. But I do have my own local LLM server as well. I'm usually running my 5060 Ti or 3050. There's 2 GPUs in my LLM server. So I'm doing like Gemma 3, and I was thinking about adding Phi 3 as well. Critical moment. Okay, so we're gonna buy these at least. And then we're gonna fight the merchant. Yeah, we'll go with Luna. The other thing I wish I had a better organization for my YubiKeys. What do you mean, organization for your YubiKeys? Just like where you place them and how you organize them and all that. That takes time. Opinion on Bitwarden? I like Bitwarden. It's one of the actual, whatchamacallit, it's one of the password managers I actually use in my arsenal. I use Proton Pass, Bitwarden, and KeyPass XE. I personally like Proton the most because you can also have it tied to simple logins, so you can alias the emails for each account, whereas Bitwarden you can't. But both are solid solutions. But Proton Pass definitely works better because it has that email aliasing capability. So every account not only has a different password, you can have a different email for each account too, that all forward into your general email. I have work, family, personal YubiKeys, and sometimes I grab the wrong ones. Oh, so hint of advice. YubiKey sells stickers. So, I actually have one with a sticker. Yeah. So you can get them with like the sticker here that go onto your YubiKey. I use those to market. Like, these are like work-related ones. And then my personal ones that are, yeah. So like my latest ones that I know are the ones that I actively use, they're at least 5.7 or higher, have DEF CON stickers on them. I picked those up at DEF CON, obviously. And that's how I identify them. I use Bitwarden to store secure keys in there. I don't put keys in Bitwarden or Proton Pass. All of my pass keys are on YubiKey. Think of the 10 biddies. Just say devs of this game used AI to generate fully the trailer for the new update DLC. Again, I don't have issue with, you know, AI being used as a tool. So long as it's done ethically. It's not nearly as bad as, what was it, Call of Duty or Battlefield or one of them that actually, like, straight up used AI instead of, like, using graphic developers. You also have to remember, the studio behind this is an indie studio. I think I would hold a larger studio more accountable than a smaller studio for that kind of behavior. Too early. Yeah, the game does have a great soundtrack. Yeah, asking for... I wouldn't say it's like asking for trouble, but there's like different levels of security you can have. Offline, having your security keys is always better. Even when it comes to my two-factor, I think kind of like bundling them together is a little bit risky. Not like saying like you will get compromised or anything, but let's say in the case someone does get access to, you know, your password manager. They have access to your passwords and your multi-factor and or your passkeys that way. Okay, the password to your Bitwarden is over 100 letters long. What happens if there's an exploit that doesn't require a password to Bitwarden? Like they access something in the back door. Like, what is it? We had LastPass with some pretty serious issues that they were like, oh, users should change their passwords.
I'm ready. Romance flowing.
Not used for YubiKey because hackers is nowadays not grabbing fully the cookie instead of passwords, etc. Well, at the end of the day, you're always going to find a vulnerability, and cybersecurity is more about layers. So if your argument is, I'm not doing this because they can get it that way, then you're just leaving yourself exposed to more issues. You're never going to be able to protect against everything, and at the end of the day, the number one vector that most people get compromised through is phishing. And that comes down to the human. The human's always going to be the weakest link. But just because, oh, they can access it through a cookie, okay, great. But the reality is, most breaches in those cases end up often happening not because, oh, they grabbed a cookie or something, but because they found your credentials in a data dump. And it's two-factor. So, yeah. And the problem also with a TOTP key, because it's a rolling timed one-time passcode, it only has one seed key. So if that seed key ever gets revealed, i.e. someone gets access to your password manager, well, now you've effectively ruined the security for that, whereas a YubiKey is completely offline. Cookie hygiene and, you know, managing your session states and all of that is a completely different part of security than just the actual access. I mean, everyone's social security is on the internet because of the hack that happened not too long ago. Not everyone's. I've checked. Mine is not there, as well as a few others. But that's because some of us are being proactive about data broker removals. What's over here? Hey, I'm elegant, and yet they treat me like a monster. I think like 2 billion SSNs got leaked. It wasn't 2 billion social security numbers. There's not that many. It was 2.9 billion pieces of information. So that could be like a phone number, a name, an address, and social security number. And I think you're referring to national public data. After Monday's leak, I would check again. I haven't gotten any alerts on my data being leaked. I had never used Monday. So what's over here? What the hell is Monday? Monday is an HR software, if I remember correctly. I don't think I've ever been at a company that used that Monday. Every time I hit, I have a 50% chance of dealing 100% more chances. What are my chances of dealing more damage in the long run? Same chance. Okay, so is it higher chance? Is that literally it? What happens if I say I don't care? Oh. So basically I just asked the question until you got the right answer? Okay. I mean, Monday this week, 2 semi-large banks got nuked. Which banks? Because I also use a credit union. And I know one of my credit unions was tied up into the bigger thing, but my information wasn't in that leak. It was tied to some other stuff that happened. It wasn't the credit union that got compromised, it was a vendor they used. Okay. This place is not for the faint of heart. See, this here is the reason when we want to go full brush mode. You got me? It is new rule zone, so you've been warned. Do I get to fight people? Okay, you're training, focused, to match up with the best. Okay. Interesting. Fans of Bertrand, big hands patate. Okay, they're just fans of other fighters. I'm just trying to see if there's anything hidden. Get one hit if you deal 9,999 damage. Remember, once you hit me, the battle's over, so make it... Yeah, I can't do that high yet, so I guess I come back later and there's something big I win. It was an artisan bank and a payment processor for car payments. Oh. Yeah, definitely not an issue for me. I've so far done private purchases and deals for my cars, and I don't use some artisan bank. I'll use Luna, because at least whoever I fight, I can,
I'll do it.
I can use fire, and I can do heals.
I'll do it.
More attack points.
I'm ready. Now it's our
I'm getting a little
chance.
good at the timing here. Let's get a little risky with the little wildfire. There we go. Won that fight. Wait, next time it won't be so easy? Yeah, sure. We can go again. I wonder if it's like you beat enough of them, you get a nice prize.
Ready to evade.
Okay. They use Earth. Gotcha.
I'm ready.
I gotta figure out how to time that, or do I need a jump?
Flow.
Come on. I need to try jumping. I played GTA 5 online and bypass BattleEye. I haven't played GTA 5 in a minute, but last I was able to play GTA 5 online on Linux. If that's what you're asking. God damn it, I hit myself. Okay, so it's not a jump.
Let us stay there. Ready to evade.
Hey! Parried. And you're down. Same payment processor got nuked last May. What distro am I using? I'm using Pop! OS Linux. Next time it won't be so easy. Oh, there's another one? Machu the Colossus. Isn't that the one they were talking about? I find it interesting how Luna is the one with the most health.
I'm ready.
Okay, so it looks like I can probably parry that one. Missed it. Need to get the timing right. Get some more attack points there. Parry! That's what I wanted to do. Well, we can get a little risky, I guess. Ah, missed the timing on that. You're down anyway. Oh, there's another next time? You'll be fighting against the mysterious new warrior. Hope you're prepared, otherwise the prize will go to them. Who's gonna fight? Alright. Again. So who's this new mysterious fighter? Oh! So we found another expeditioner. So do they get to join my party if I beat them?
Wait, that's...
See how?
What? How? You guys? You're alive!
Oh, so I guess it was nice that I didn't just do the main quest and I was like, let's go explore.
I knew you were resourceful.
How did you get here?
They're expecting a bit of a show. Shall we?
she's quick, so parrying is a little bit hard.
Feel the burn.
Set up a burn. Rush is a buff that increases the speed of the character by 33%. Okay, that was interesting to do that. Got some points.
I'll do it. Let us stay here.
Burn, baby, burn. There we go. I guess we're the champion. And we are the champion, my friends. Ooh, I got a weapon.
Well, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah, it really just felt like beating old people.
So it wasn't so bad.
I got an eBay win recently. Ordered a Dell Optiplex 3040, and it came with a 240 gigabyte M2 Western drive. Nice.
After the beach, I ended up in an odd yellow forest, not too far from here. Had to dodge a few nevrons, but luckily I met a gestural who guided me here. What about you?
Well, I woke up next to a waterfall.
F expected it to have nothing considering the M2 market these days. Oh, yeah. But 256 gigs is like, 240, 256, whatever, is not quite that much for somebody to consider taking. Now, if it was like a half a terabyte, a 1 terabyte, maybe. Do you wish to play CL's tutorial? Only accessible to stomach. Yeah, we'll play it. See what's up. CL's Foretell. CL can apply and consume Foretell on enemies. 10 max per enemy. Skills that apply Foretell generate sun charges. Skills that consume Foretell generate moon charges. Starting skills are Focus Foretell and Twilight Dash. Focus Foretell applies 5 Foretell and generates 1 sun charge. Start by using Focus Foretell. New version of Papa West looks promising. Going to redo my Windows gaming machine. Nice. Yeah, I'm waiting for 2604 to come out, and then I will consider, you know, moving completely over. I'm still on 204. Oh, damn. I'm mistiming that all the time.
Take your shot.
Still mistiming it. At the start of her turn, CL is both a moon and sun charge. She consumes them to enter Twilight for 2 turns. During Twilight, CL applies double Foretell. The amount of Foretell per enemy is increased from 10 to 20. That gets a little bit,
Not today.
Hey, I got a counter in.
Ready.
What happened to M2 price? I'm scared to look. Well, everything, involving memory fabricators, because a lot of the same people that make RAM also make SSD components. Micron, Samsung, SK Hynix. So it's all getting expensive because all of those developers are wanting to focus on enterprise customers.
Champion, get out of my way!
The password is get out of my way.
The password's
Very
that.
gestured. As loud as we can.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah, they've generally tripled.
Astral positivity.
Did it go the way of RAM? It's been going at the same time. That's why I was telling people, go get your GPUs, your memory, and SSDs, like now. Well, now being a few weeks ago.
Okay. I'm ready.
Oh, God! She one-hit KO'd me! Okay, I'm gonna have to come back and kick her butt later. But yeah, I bought my 4 terabyte NVMe I installed in here a few weeks ago. And I think it's gone up like a couple $100 since I bought it. My GPU I bought a few weeks ago, and it's been estimated that they're gonna go up like hundreds of dollars more over the next few months. Nvidia price hiked, future price 5090s. Well, it's not just 5090s. They're planning to decrease all GPU production by about 40%. At least the But, yeah, Nvidia is reducing the amount of GPUs they want to produce by 40% because they want to focus more on the GPUs that actually are being used in AI production. It's so janky. I'm curious if I can jump to that. You can't even go up a ladder? I do not like the invisible walls in this game. Jesting is still a form of fighting, though. Not everyone knows that. Don't ruin the fun for them. Okay. Those just look like gestural that are... Yeah, sadly gotta wait for one GPU IRC to see if they get competitive. The problem is... I know when you're like, oh, they gotta get competitive. The reason why GPUs are getting expensive is because of the memory. It's all tied to the memory crisis caused by AI. So, the argument of, oh, well, I'm waiting for GPU pricing to be more competitive is banked on memory pricing overall being more competitive. And that's not happening for the foreseeable future. It's a terrible sickness that makes my bones grow every day. Feel like you're shooting pounds. We need to rename the RAM chip Crisis 2.0. No, I like Ramageddon. Ramageddon sounds a lot better. Ooh, glowing rock. Tell me your future. I know there's nothing it does, but it's a glowing rock. Okay, we already talked to them. Oh, did we just make a circle? Oh, wait. Okay, so... who's got the attributes? Oh. Well, okay then. So he leveled up. So we'll give him more health. Sure. Okay, level 15. 11. 11, okay. And okay, that boosted all of them. And then that should do much better. Samsung 9100 8TB. Oh yeah. Telling people to buy electronics now if they plan on owning anything in the next half decade. It's not going to be the next half decade, but at least for the next year. Okay, so what do we have here? Okay, that's worthwhile. Deals high single target damage, one hit, consumes all foretell, can break. That's worthwhile. Deals high single target damage, 5 to 7 hits, uses weapon elements. Critical hits don't remove foretell, but the damage still increase. Each hit can consume 1 foretell to deal 200% more damage. That's worthwhile. Okay, that's worthwhile. Okay, so all those skills are assigned. 2 points. Can I do anything with those 2 points? Rock Slide. Fire Rage. Deals increasingly high fire damage to all enemies every turn until Lune receives damage. Stuns self if interrupted. Interesting. Now, what's this skill at the top? Heals 1 to 3 allies by 40 to 60% health. Consumes 3 to also apply regen. That heals... Okay. Consumes all stains to... Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait for more points. And then... Yeah, she's got nothing. $2,400 for the Samsung? Yep. It's not going to get better, at least for the next year or so. You're going to have to wait until, What is this? Power 193. Trebuchet, lightning with the vitality +9. Okay, that's assigned. Okay. So let's give her some Pictos. Every hit has a 50% chance to deal hits. Cleansing Tint. Augmented counter. Hmm. 90% of all stocks run by the top 10%. If they're convinced it's a good deal, it is. I don't know. I don't think there isn't a bubble, but the way financials work, it's weird now. Oh, it's definitely a bubble. Look, people thought there wasn't a bubble when it came to, what do you call it? The dot-com boom. I remember that. And then eventually it came. Generally speaking, whenever you think that we're not in a bubble, we're probably in a bubble. Okay, so she adds guarding. She's a power hitter, though. It's kind of annoying you can only have 3 to the party. I wish you could have done more. I kind of want to see... Okay, so let's see. CL page... Twilight Slash... Okay. Deals medium damage. So I need a healer. Okay. Breaking rules. I'll remove my L and add CL. We'll see what it's like in the next attack. Back then, poor people had investment power, they broke the bubble, now it's all team rich. That doesn't mean anything. .com bubble was still more about, you know, the rich people. You have to remember, a lot of poor people didn't have as much access into the stock market back then because it was a bit more restrictive. We didn't have online trading. You had to go through, you know, professionals that could actually help you get brokered and everything to do stocks. Nowadays, you don't need to do that. You can just open up an app to do that. Look, people thought the same thing back when cryptocurrency was booming, too. Oh, it's just rich people getting in. Yeah, well, it doesn't change the fact that eventually, you know, cryptocurrency kind of leveled out. Yeah, it's pretty high still now, but... The reason why it's also a bubble is you have to understand, OpenAI is operating on an immense deficit of, operating space. You're operating under super... No, it's not that. The reality is, the only one that's really going to gain is NVIDIA. What is it? I think OpenAI is close to $1 trillion in debt, and you basically just have circular money patterns of money moving around with a bunch of IOUs. Eventually, investors are going to start asking for their money. They're going to want to see return on investments. And that's kind of happening, because I forgot which firms actually pulled out of OpenAI and a few others. It's not a matter of if, but when. And the reality is, there's no way that companies like OpenAI are actually going to be profitable on the things that they're doing, the ways that they operate. They don't even own the data centers that they operate in. My take is the price will be like gas prices and super slow to return to normal. That I agree with. It's gonna take a while for supply chains to start normalizing. But it's gonna also take a while until these data centers start feeling the crunch, because OpenAI, their business model is not sustainable. Let's compare Google that does AI development. Google has a diversification of revenue. OpenAI's only revenue is people signing up for ChatGPT. The way they're getting most of their money is basically going to people and begging for money. And eventually, they're going to have taken on so much debt that people are going to start asking, you know, like, yeah, but what's my return going to be on this? It wasn't, you know, like when the AI bubble was just starting out, everyone was getting overhyped, being like, yeah, we have to, invest in AI. Investors were throwing their money in anything that just had the name AI. And, it was the same thing with blockchain and cryptocurrency, and eventually that burned out. hope with AI companies is they get government contracts, which is where the money is. Yeah, but here's the thing. There's nothing these AI companies are doing that they couldn't technically do themselves. Namely, what's to stop the government from operating their own data centers? They operate their own data centers as it is, and operate their own LLMs with their own hardware. It's not the same thing as like email infrastructure where you're like, oh yeah, we need to, have so many different pieces. It's just a matter of getting infrastructure, physically built, or even going to AWS, and AWS now houses, what is it, AWS Bedrock. So there's nothing stopping the government from doing things. And I know you can say, well, they're going to lobby against that. Well, eventually you're going to have the IGs, the inspectors generals, and other things that are a little bit more conscious of the, the budgets that are being spent and things like that start asking questions. Politicize that internal operations. I think you're continuing a thought there. Okay, so we had to go back to the camp, so I guess that was just all a thing to get CL. Alright. Where is the curator? There he is. Those internal operations. So, to say thank you for getting me into using Linux as my desktop on cheap and playing all day. Nice. I can't comment on the government stuff. Can't or won't? I'm kidding. Okay. Ooh, that's going to be a lot more powerful. Defense. Defense! Defense! Jack Nicholson, you can't handle the truth. Clever. Ooh. That's gonna be nice and powerful. Like, a few EU places just shut down the mail service. That cost them, but it got votes, so... I noticed games run faster on Linux, even wine games. Oh yeah, you can get pretty good performance on Linux games, and even in cases where, okay, Windows technically has higher frame rates, a lot of people have noticed that the gaming is more consistent and smooth.
Yeah.
So the lows may not be as low.
Well, they did a great job.
Instrumental in me finally committing to Linux.
The creative
Nice.
assignment you gave them.
Well, when life gives you lemons.
I'm glad that you were able to do that.
Losing an arm is quite a lemon.
Yeah, it's not lemonade.
And this 5070 Ti has been running really smooth on Linux too. I haven't had any issues. I literally, before I installed it, put the NVIDIA 580 Open drivers, installed it, worked right out the box.
What was
I had to remap some monitors, that was it. I mean, that happens.
Well, it was a lot of fun.
Basically just say which monitor went where.
Maybe.
Wait, do you only get the two there? Is there another one? Is Mael hanging around somewhere? Or is it only just the people you decide to put... Oh, there's Mael. Okay, so basically it's the people in your party, I guess, hanging around the campfire?
Maybe you should stay.
What?
It's safer in the village.
Apps that run only on Windows and are heavy. Oh,
No way.
Gaming on its own is a thing that to learn to manage on Linux. The main thing is apps.
Stick together.
Apps that run only on Windows and are heavy can be used on Linux. Yeah. I think you mean Bamboo. P1S still unopened in the box for like 6 months, considering returning it and getting a Prusa. Well, I mean, it's after 6 months, so it's kind of hard to return it. You may be able to sell it and then get a Prusa. I may be a little bit biased towards Prusa because they're completely open source. I'm able to understand it, repair it, upgrade it, do everything I want with it, and nobody can tell me otherwise. And Bamboo's a little bit of a proprietary solution. But I mean, if that's the direction you want to go with it, that is totally valid.
Still can't.
What was your plan if we hadn't?
Well, it was.
Bamboo's been doing weird stuff lately, too. Oh, yeah, definitely. SolidWorks, LabVIEW. Oh, yeah, those things, they definitely, you know, need some, tender care to get working on Linux, but it can be done from what I've been told. You emailed them and they said, you can send it back for return since unopened. Oh, okay, that's nice. If you can do a full return and you want to go get a Prusa, have at it. Don't own one, but seen videos of complaints of always online stuff being added. Yeah, I don't own one either.
Sorry.
Primarily because I always thought there was going to be an issue with that coming down the road, and sure enough,
No.
No.
it happened. Just a heads up, I may have to take a bio break in a second here because I'm feeling the call of nature coming.
Of Aquafarm 3.
Aquafarm.
Running a Libre CAD learning
So long
that.
ago.
Okay. There's a DIY you can make for a cheap Prusa to get it to Bamboo levels of quality. Oh yeah, there's a lot of people that have modified their Prusas to get Bamboo level.
Good project.
And I think the Core XYs can do Bamboo like
So many
speed
neighborhoods at once.
pretty well now.
Nostalgia, thinking back. We really thought we were making a difference.
Hey, we're
The
still...
main thing I noticed is after switching to Linux was the RAM usage. 10%,
Of course.
I'm gonna say less than usual, or 10? Do you mean 10% of the usual? But yeah, there's definitely no doubt about it. Linux definitely uses way less RAM. Of the usual. Oh, 10% of the usual? Yeah, Windows can get absolutely insane with the RAM consumption. Legendary Esky at Esky's Nest. He should be able to help. Yeah, the Core XY mods. Well, they have a Core XY styled 3D printer from Prusa, and that's the one I'm looking at getting. I want to get their large one, and I want to get the one that has the tool changer, but I think between the two that I want to get and the SLA printer I want to get from them, I'm looking at like 6K. Lofty goal.
I can't believe it. We're gonna meet the Esquier.
The gesture.
Esquier, okay.
The tales are true.
I should have switched years ago when I started working at my job more heavier. Hey, a lot of people do that. They have regrets and they're like, why did I not do this sooner? Okay, what's going on? Who the hell are you? What's going on here?
Who are you?
That's what I'm asking. So what's going on here? It's getting all French cinematic over here. 4:3 ratio, black and white. Told you to stay home. It's not good for you.
Stay home. It's not good for you to see this.
Thoughts on Fedora? I don't like to wear them much.
Yes, I understand. It's her fault, and she doesn't even know it. But you can't be here.
What are you talking about? What's my fault? What is this?
You should never have come.
Make sure to tip the hat.
Make things worse for everyone.
Thank you. I'm here till Thursday. Tip your waitress. Try the veal. What distro am I on? I'm on Pop OS.
In peace. This is your only warning.
But yeah, what Brad's saying is true. Try all of them. Fedora often just has newer software, but
Hey.
Oh, she had a vision.
Hey.
It was him. I saw him. The white-haired man and this...
Fedora just has newer software, but it has a very rapid release cycle, so you're gonna have to, like, install the new version every 6 months. I tend to like Pop OS and the Ubuntu-based ones because you can get an LTS that can last 5 or more years. Come to the dark side, Cubes OS.
We need to go home.
Look, I love Cubes OS, but I'm not gonna recommend newbies start with that.
And that I'm gonna make things worse for everyone. You were all frozen. I couldn't.
You put antics on your... I forgot about antics. That's been a minute. I've been trying Arch with Hyperlend. This is my 5th time this week reconfiguring my NVIM. Of course, you know. Look, the Arch users. You don't have to ask them if they use Arch. They'll tell you that they use Arch. And imply that they don't touch grass. I'm joking. Sort of.
Hey, breathe. Listen to me.
But you see, this is also like what I say, like, when I want stability and people are like, why don't you use Arch? And I'm like, you just said, it's your 5th time reconfiguring your system. I barely touch my OS. I do apt update, apt upgrade, flat pack update, call it a day.
Feeling better?
Yeah. We can debrief along the way. Let's head east to Esquia's Nest.
Okay, so Esquia's Nest is this way. Do you compartmentalize? In what way do you mean? Mentally? Are you talking about, like, segment my network? Like, just curious what you mean. What kind of server rig you got? I got a few things. Is there anything you're asking about? Because I've got a few things set up for that. Thought I should get back to Sastra sometime. You seem pretty lost to me. Call me an Arch user, it's more I'm new to racing and just dove headfirst into it. But Satan's left. You're using what? You're racing out using what? I rest my case. Hyperlend on what? Arch! Programs, compartment for web browser, one for Discord. Oh yeah, on Cubes OS I do that, but I have different cubes for each thing. Oh, hardware-wise, I've got an Intel Atom server edition, a Super Micro server, which is my firewall that's going to be upgraded with the Xeon one, and then move that Atom one to my logging and everything.
Really?
I've got my little Purism Librum Mini over here, acting as a logging server for now.
Don't be shy.
I've also got plenty of Raspberry Pis, Rock 64s, Rock 64 Pros.
Jeez. No, it's just the... It's the password.
Rico Femicola, Gorgranda Baribombino, Passwordito.
Look.
Oh, directly on Debian base, do it yourself.
Sorry. It's just the...
Kinda, sort of.
That's the password, and
Come on, it's a gestural.
I at least use Flatpak and I sandbox everything. Where possible.
Sorry.
I'm trying to learn do the compartments myself. You need to automate the rules you set. I'm about to use Temple OS. Ah, you're about to use the holy operating system. It's S-Class, right up there with Hannah Montana Linux.
Interesting decor.
Wow.
SKA is said to feed on light.
Are you okay, Maya?
I don't know. Getting a bit of deja vu again.
The light here. It feels a little...
Yeah, there's different ways to layer your system. There's a lot of ways to do it. But when I really want to be hardened, I use Cubes OS. Is there anything hidden in these areas? You know, you should be able to, like, jump onto more of these things. Yeah, like, some of the mechanics in this game, a little weird. Okay, there's something over there. I should be able to get that. I have a whole laptop for cubes. That's my Purism Librum 14 laptop. See, like, I should be... I don't like this game and all their invisible walls. It's really annoying. Purism costs an arm and a leg. Yeah, well, I had a former job pay for my laptop, and as part of the severance, I got to keep it, so...
Nice.
I didn't pay anything for it. But now when I replace that laptop, I'm going to probably go with Nova Custom to get the same kind of setup. With, was it core boot and heads?
No SKA.
That's how you get it hard, your distro. Hey Shane, what's up, buddy? Also, I've been seeing you on LinkedIn.
Hey, bonjour mon ami.
CL?
Odd. I don't know. He seems nice.
When do you usually change your thermal paste in your laptop and desktop?
You finally
Every 2 or 3 years.
No. I'm not that fond of water.
The more the Craigslist vibes, the better.
Sort of why we're here. We need to cross the
Distro and specs. I use Pop OS Linux. All the specs are on Twitch though, but Pop OS Linux, Ryzen 5950X, 64 gigabytes of RAM, NVIDIA 5070 Ti.
We really need to cross the sea. Would you please help us?
There's a lot of you to carry. I'm strong.
Never let it ride until you overheat. I repasted this just recently because I installed the new GPU and I was like, I may as well clean the entire thing. Removed all the dust. Are you using barebone or dual boot? I don't dual boot. This machine is Linux 24/7. The stream machine over here is using Windows 11 Enterprise. I use a 2-PC setup.
Okay.
But this machine is really only on when I'm streaming.
Deep in Nevron-infested territory, right?
Oh no. He's right next door. Over there.
Oh.
Francois's my neighbor.
Okay. Well, I guess we could take a look.
Fantastic. Good luck, mes amis. Please, bring Florrie back to me.
Is there advantage to stream on Windows? No. The only reason I use it is,
Don't understand.
There's a couple of streaming related things I use that there's only Windows versions on right now, like the receipt printer when people sub and all that stuff. So far, the printer itself will work on Linux, but the StreamerBot app I use, I haven't been able to confirm will work on Linux yet. The Elgato key lights, I gotta figure out how to work on Linux. The Elgato teleprompter, well, the app I use uses NVIDIA RTX for when I record videos to go along with my voice. Haven't been able to figure out how to get that side to work on Linux. I can get the teleprompter basically to work on Linux. What what distros do you play with? Assuming Kali, Black Arch, because CS. I've been using Linux for about 15 years, so I've been using a lot of distros. At work, I use Red Hat and Amazon Linux, and then Ubuntu on Windows Subsystem for Linux. I used to use Bare Ubuntu back in, like, what, 6.04 through 12.04. Then I switched to Ubuntu. Before I even used Ubuntu, I was using straight Debian, Slackware, Canopix.
The more questions I have.
You okay, Sia?
It's not really compatibility problems, it's that I haven't really been able to spend the time making sure everything will work, and since content creation is a side thing I'm doing, I need to make sure everything works rather than just jump into it. Now, OBS has been converted to a portable setup, so I should be able to port everything over without much issue. I'll have to adjust some things, but yeah. Hardware work with unfit drivers takes time. It's not really drivers so much, it's apps. Like the Steam Decks, the Stream Decks that I have can work on Linux. I just have to get that working. The capture cards I have apparently can work on Linux. I just have to spend time to figure it. Thoughts on Cubes OS? I have Cubes OS on a laptop. I've brought it to DEF CON like every year I've gone. Why not Dockerize everything? I only run Dockers in the stuff that I'm actually hosting, like my pies and stuff, but I build a lot of Dockerized apps. If you look at my GitHub, a lot of things I built are Dockerized. But
there's nothing here.
Docker also adds overhead, you have to remember.
Who dares enter my lair? You can't just walk into someone's home without knocking. That is incredibly rude.
Is that... Are you...
Yeah, I'm still on DDR4 for everything except my latest laptop, which is DDR5.
I thought Florrie was the one.
A rock?
Isn't Cubes OS just VM after VM? More or less.
You certainly have rocks for brains. I am clearly a turtle. Eskia! Stop sending hooligans over here!
Stop being a meanie.
Debian as a server is good, but I use Ubuntu because it does have newer packages.
Now get off my lawn!
It's okay. We'll leave.
Hey, Pseudoshep. Happy New Year.
So, not only are you intruding, you're here to...
And tell Sir Ho I said hi. By the way, find out if y'all are going to DEF CON. I, just had my friend, he booked a hotel for me. I'm probably going to be out there this year again. Yeah, but on Linux it doesn't matter, lol. Oh, it still matters. Okay, so we are battling. Just talked about it earlier. Nice. God damn. God damn, I'm just gonna get boned here, aren't I? Yup, boned. Hey, Brock.
There's nothing here.
Oh, you've got to parry? Yeah.
Who dares enter my lair?
Isn't DEF CON kind of controlled? No.
Into someone's home without knocking?
Save the tinfoil hat for the tinfoil hat making competition at DEF CON.
He's just a talking rock.
Wait, I thought Florrie was the rock.
A rock? I am not a rock. Do you have rocks for eyes? You certainly have rocks for brains. I am clearly a...
The only way you're going to really learn more about cybersecurity in the best ways is to go to cybersecurity conferences, network with people in cybersecurity, go to the talks, and all that.
Now get off my lawn!
It's okay. We'll leave. We're just here for Florrie.
So, not only are you intruding, you're here to steal!
Oh yeah, Spot the Fed is always a fun game. Get a t-shirt if you, get the right, if you figure out they're actually a Fed. Is this running over Steam, and is it running with the translation layer? Yeah, it's running on Steam, and it's, I think, using Proton.
Look out.
You've been spotted twice. Really? God damn it. Did not parry that right.
Here's your card.
Take him down.
Damn it.
Do you? Here's your card.
Shit, mistimed that. And all it was writing reports. I was like, maybe this isn't for me. That's your class. That's your class more than anything. The second time I was spotted was because I took a work call. Well then, if you want to fix that, you can always just stop being a Fed. You know. Sounds more like an ish you than an ish me. Why do you have a Tavor with the penguin? Are you Israeli? No. And what does a penguin having to be have to do with being Israeli? Maybe it's just I wanted to have a bullpup styled rifle because I do gaming on Linux and other stuff. You do realize there's more countries than Israel that have a bullpup. Yeah, there were like no labs, no nothing. I was like, let me try getting some certs instead. I mean, it could be helpful. I'm only going back to school for my bachelor's because I want to,
Who dares?
No, the Israeli AK is the Galil.
You can't just walk.
The Tavor is a bullpup. AK is not a bullpup.
Is that... Are you Francois? He's just a talking...
Was one of them what?
I thought Florrie was the rock.
A rock? I am
Let me put it this way. It shouldn't matter where people are born. If they happen to be born in Israel, in Iraq, in Iran, or whatever, people are not their government. Governments don't always represent their people either.
Then keep them on your side of the caves! Now get off my...
By going back to college, because people, unfortunately, they want bachelor's degrees and stuff as you get higher up.
You're here to steal? Oh my word! Humans! Well, over my dead body! Rah!
US Govs certainly don't rep their people. My point exactly. Look, here's my point I would make. If you're just hating on Israelis because of what the Israeli government does, and holding Israelis responsible for what their government does, then by virtue there, are all Americans inherently responsible for the Iraq War? Are all Americans responsible for what happened in all the wars that we cause and everything, well, we being the government? No. There's a lot of Americans that don't agree with their government and don't want this stuff to happen. If anything, governments are more representative of the elites in their country rather than the actual people. We played Tilo. I haven't heard of that. Treat each other excellently. Exactly, like Bill and Ted taught us.
Take him down.
Lune, attention.
Oh, The Last of Us 2? I haven't played it yet, but I think I have it. Ah, god damn it.
Here's your card.
Just don't be a dick is my motto. That's a good motto to have. I agree with that too. Elites hate us wherever we live. Exactly. Do you have any recommended courses for getting into programming or coding any specific language? The honest truth is just give yourself projects. Learn how to do those things. That's how I taught a lot of my stuff was, if you go through my GitHub, you'll find a lot of like random projects like calculators and stuff like that. Just be like, hey, I want to make a calculator. And then just make it in that language. Like anything you do. That's the reason why I have so many projects is I'm like, how do I get this to work like that?
Careful now. Gustav!
I don't think you can parry that. Do I have to dodge it? Damn it! I dodged a little too early. Coding is too complex for me. I paid to make a cheat with some of my homies. Worst flop ever. Well... Coding is definitely complex when you're, like, looking at the, abstracts that go into it. You can always use AI, to help you code. Now, I will make sure that I make this very clear. That doesn't mean that you can just vibe code your way out of things. Vibe coding is fine as long as you vibe check. I use it to pair program. Whatever you do with, you know, LLMs to write code, make sure you understand it. You can use it to understand code.
Who dares enter
You write in C now. I don't write in it. I mostly do Python and Bash.
home without knocking?
Random idea on random language and then just work out the documentation. It's fun. Yeah, that's a good idea too. I actually started coding with ChatGPT 3.5 to start understanding Python, and then just started understanding functions there. I still use LLMs to write it because it's the difference of me making a thing in a matter of hours or days versus days or weeks or even months to do the same thing.
Keep them on your side of the case.
You're incredibly against AI being used at all? Well, here's the reality. The cat's out of the bag. And when you're looking at the job field right now, it's about those who can do their job effectively with AI and those who can't. And those who can do it a lot more effectively. Using AI itself isn't a problem. Using AI to replace people is the problem. But it's a tool everywhere. What distro? Pop OS.
Careful now, Gustav.
I'm gonna try dodging instead of parrying. 1, 2, 3. Ah, damn it. Missed it. Learning how to prompt better for assistance is the future. Absolutely. What is the purpose of learning to code to be employed like we need coders, but seems like so much? Well, you have to learn how to dev and architect the things or that. Learn AI, don't diss it, or it will place you with someone willing to learn it. Exactly. I had that same argument with a friend of mine that does graphic design. The one that does all my graphics. And I'm like, look, I'm not disagreeing with your philosophical or ethical argument here on AI being trained on data that it shouldn't have been trained on and everything. But the reality is the cat's out of the bag. And I was saying this back when ChatGPT 3.5 came out. That the reality is, eventually, it's going to be the difference of those who use AI to effectively do their job better and those who don't will be pushed out. And you're already seeing that with a lot of graphic designers and stuff, because now you need to use AI, whether it's in Figma or Photoshop. You're needing to use AI in a lot of things, and those tools are now becoming standardized to be used in many organizations. I know where I work, they've been rolling out not only Microsoft Copilot, but Amazon Q. Is this Linux? Yes, this is Linux. And I'm running Pop OS. I think I already answered that. Input for little output. You need like teams of thousands of people to make these video games. You do! Doing alright. I used AI in my last project. The customer had it available on the VM. At this point, I either find a way to code without AI or I'm moving to Alaska and never being seen. Well, then the reality is you're going to have to learn to code without AI, because most jobs right now are giving their coders AI systems. Like Gitz, his job, they literally complained he wasn't using AI enough to code. Legitimate complaint to a guy that's got over 20 years of development experience. If it's not bot AI, will be an in-house AI. Exactly. I run a local LLM as well. And implement the very complex features in the app. Okay. Yeah, with best distros. I wouldn't say there's like best distros, but my personal preference distros. I use Pop OS mostly for my daily stuff. Ubuntu and Debian for server stuff. And then, Cubes OS for the security hardened stuff, and Parrot OS for the ethical hacking stuff. And Hunix for when I need to access Darknet, but that's a virtualized VM.
The brilliant light.
I'm gonna try doing that instead. One, two. Hey! Got that right. It's tricky to time that, though.
Here's your card.
Oh, why do I get to go again? Okay. One, two. Hey! Good timing. Yeah, I remember trying to learn neural networks and was like, yeah, I can barely brain, so no thanks. Yeah, neural networks can definitely be complex, I will say that.
Here's your card.
ready to evade.
1, 2. Ah, F. We'll use a revive tint to get her back.
It's flowing.
Okay. 1, 2. Yay! Which game is this? Looks different from Borderlands 4. It's, Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Took me a few tries, but I got it.
Okay, let's put an end to this foolishness. I need to
Got a new
sleep
Pictos.
like a turtle.
All this trouble for a tiny rock.
It's good when AI gives the source from where it parses information. Always check those sources. Lots of useful things there. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why I like the thinking function.
Wow, you got smashed.
But know that I will never stop chasing you.
But you can't move.
The best way to look code is to understand what the code does on the lower level. More or less, yeah. I still like to understand, you know, what it's doing. I don't just do things without understanding it, because a case in point why you want to make sure you understand what's going on. We had an incident at work where a developer copied and pasted in a code snippet, and it happened to have it in base 64. I forgot what part of it. I think it was the URL was in base 64 or something like that. Anyway, yeah, the URL was definitely in the base 64. I can't remember if the URL was in base 64 or if it was just part of the overall thing. Anyway, well, it turns out when you when you deciphered that base 64 and decoded it, well, it then would point them to a malicious URL.
Maybe they came from another world.
And we just kind of looked at the developer and was like, so you copied and pasted code without actually understanding what it did as a developer.
What have we here?
Even worse, it apparently came from, I think they said ChatGPT or something. I don't remember which LLM. But yeah. So always check what you do. I see that on GitHub a lot. Yeah, that's why you don't copy and paste. First code and why. My laptop with 2 FPS on Doom gets 60 FPS on Cyberpunk now on Linux with NVIDIA GPU. Oh yeah. I can believe that.
Perfect.
No! Didn't know Linux could run games. Linux has been gaming for many years now. Valve has the entire Steam Deck, which runs on Linux. The Steam Machine comes with Linux. The Valve frame they're releasing, guess what it's going to be running on? Give you 2 guesses.
You got Flory.
No, Linux.
That's not Flory.
What do you mean that's not Flory?
Ha! I never had Flory! Your rock is still on the Stone Wave Cliffs!
Also use a proper ID, block some artifacts, reveals them.
Does this mean you won't help us?
If you promise to get me Flory.
I'm getting a Valve frame because VR is so on Linux. I'm looking at a Valve frame because
we saw you flying.
it'd be nice to have a dedicated VR headset that can be its own computer. So, like, imagine I'm in bed, I can watch movies and stuff without disrupting somebody. But then I could use VR if I wanted for that kind of stuff, too. And it's a full Linux computer, basically.
Into space.
But I definitely want to get the new Valve controller. That's priority uno.
Best friend Verso.
Virus is something by reading it.
Help you find your
Not necessarily. There's ways to obscure the code, but you can tell by what it's doing, but that's where we would look more at an XDR.
The way to the north. Just aim.
You probably already get always 5K times now. What game is this? This is Clair Obscure Expedition 33. This is the game that won Game of the Year this year. It looks great, doesn't it? Just installed Antics on my 512 megabyte Celeron mini PC from 2005. Interesting. Maybe you should try putting Tiny Core Linux on it. Wait, I think I saw something behind here. Nope. Nope. Never mind. Modern yet slim. Yeah. It's like Persona 5 or Pokemon. Wait, what? No. The graphics are impressive. Oh yeah, they definitely are. And I've really been loving this 5070 Ti I upgraded to. It's been fantastic. Okay, what do we got over here?
Expedition 66, Marcel. Damn you, Eskia, and your stupid mushrooms. Your friend ate them with no problem, but it also seems your friend was immortal. That's the sort of extremely relevant detail that you should mention.
The audio feed is more
stop crying. You're not the one about to die. I can't believe this is the end of our expedition. We've learned nothing and achieved.
Is game more like Pokemon or Persona? I don't know what those, what Persona's like. This is more like a Final Fantasy, it feels like.
Never trusted a giant talking marshmallow.
Can you still get hired in Federal Cyber if you experimented with mushrooms? I think the requirement is that, you'd have to go talk to someone that actually works in Federal. You can't have done any illicit substances for at least a year. Which also is a big reason why it's very hard for the government to be hiring people. Because, I'm gonna tell you, going to DEF CON...
Interesting.
People do a lot of things. Not my kind of things, but they do things. Expedition 66, we're close. No! No! I will ban you for that reference of two numbers. If you want to reference two numbers for a joke, in this chat, 69 is an acceptable number.
What have we here?
But not the number that comes after 6. We shall not mention that meme. You work for government? Hell no! Wait, is that leading me out the door? Oh, yeah, it is. I don't know the India award or the entire award was taken away from E33 for the AI situation. Yeah, and the AI situation is, like, so stupid because here's the thing. Every game from the AAA titles is using AI these days. They used it for some placeholder graphics, apparently. And maybe they forgot to take a few out, but it's such BS. Because look, even NVIDIA is using AI to render frames, do that generative frame rendering of that. SK can help you navigate impenetrable terrain to discover new areas of the continent. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Oh! Hello! Oh, so where are we trying to go? I guess we can go to the Twilight Quarry, check that out. Do you think AI will wipe out most employees? No. I don't think it'll wipe out most employees. I think a lot of the claims around AI are relatively overhyped. What I do think is going to happen is you're going to see the differences, and I talked about this earlier, the differences between employees that don't use AI for whatever reason and employees that do use AI to effectively do their jobs better. And companies are already wanting to see employees use AI. We're nowhere near AI being able to replace employees. Because here's the reality. AI is incapable of generating an original or unique thought. It can only work on the information that it has been trained with. Meaning, you're gonna still need humans, ultimately. And a lot of these people that are like, well, you know, it's gonna replace it, especially these rich people that think it's gonna replace employees, aren't actually working. Because do you know which positions are actually the most replaceable? It's management and leadership. Boom goes the dynamite. Hey, I'll shoot you in the face, motherfucker. You know what? I am going to just take care of you right now. Ready. All right, 2 for 1.
Feel the burn.
Come on, do your worst.
Here we go.
Here's your card. Chroma is flowing.
AI helps with game development because they can use placeholders to code the game faster. Absolutely. The issue I have is only when companies are using AI to completely replace
Let me help.
What should actually be done by humans. I have no problems when people use AI to enhance the work that they're doing. How come management or leadership? Management basically their job is to basically push papers around and organize work the best way possible. If you feed the information of what the team's responsibilities, skills, and priorities are, it can figure out how to prioritize and manage all that work for them. Leadership, more or less, just has to do more or less the same things at higher levels. Unless you have somebody that's more visionary. But things like CFO, and other tasks can totally be automated. Even in many cases, CEO, if it's just a general business that's just trying to do things. I also accidentally deleted my window manager today, trying to use X11 on Fedora for VR. Oof. Rip. You cannot fully replace real human interaction with copy-pasted AI. Yeah, I agree with that. But let's be honest, who are the most robotic kind of people out there in terms of employment? Management. HR can very heavily be automated too. In fact, a lot of the jobs in HR already are.
I saw your future.
Come on, big boy. Let's do this thing. Damn it. Got stunned. That's cool. You're done. Okay, you're done. Okay, well, not all of us are management. I didn't say we are. But management is one of the biggest things that couldn't be replaced, and management, ironically, is the one that mismanages a lot of the company, which is why we have a lot of the layoffs that happen to be going on. Except in the cases of when you look at the bigger companies, a lot of those layoffs tend to be middle management. Not sure if I want to deal with that, but, let's, go to camp and then, see how we feel. Mael's nightmare. Ooh. What's going on here? Look at the larger picture. What larger picture? Quick question. How did you manage to get TikTok Live to work on Linux? By using OBS. Is Roblox still unplayable on Linux? I don't play Roblox, so I believe so. I think it's because they have some kernel level BS. It's not that the game can't technically be played on Linux, it's that they have some kernel level BS. What's your opinion on Expedition? Should I buy it if I like Deltarune and Paper Mario, or is it not? Okay, I don't know that first game. I do know that second name. I really like this game so far. It reminds me a lot of, like, Final Fantasy games, too.
You've been quiet since...
And kind of like Paper Mario, come to think of it, too. Man, that's a game I haven't played in a minute. I should replay, but I gotta play the rest of the games in my Steam library.
I don't understand what's happening. And I feel like I never understood.
Yes, sober app Roblox.
I'm always missing something that everyone else just...
Oh, you use it? It's called sober app, or what is it?
Life never made sense, and I never fit, and
Happy
now,
New Year's, Rich.
when it was just...
Roblox on Linux, it's called Sober. You can install it via Flatpak. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't play Roblox. It's just not my cup of tea.
Things we don't understand.
I think a lot of kids play that. I know my niece does, and I don't know. It just kind of feels weird for me to get on a game that a bunch of kids are with, being at my age. But
focus on the things I do understand, on the people I care
to be fair, a lot of kids also were, you know, horribly traumatized by us in COD lobbies. So
I feel a little less lost because
do with that what you will.
We're lost together. What? What? Stop it.
You quit Roblox in early 2024. It's just so boring.
Well,
never played it, so.
I was even more lost when I was 16.
What distro do you use? Start? Did I start on?
But guess what? The girls weren't thinking about me at all.
I started way back in the day on Canopix and Slackware thanks to a family friend. Then I went on to Debian and Ubuntu. Up until like about 2012, I was on Ubuntu. Then I went to Ubuntu and messing with Lubuntu and other things like that.
Yeah.
And then Pop OS came out with their first LTS.
I told you, don't get cocky.
I think in 2020?
Okay.
You taught me great.
And I've been using that for my daily ever since. For my ethical hacking distro, I use Parrot OS. And for the hardened Linux, I use Cubes OS. What distro do I currently use? For gaming in my everyday, I use Pop OS. But I have several I have for different reasons. Even if there are better distros, you can't disrespect Debian. Yeah, I use Debian for a few things. It's just that, what's the word? The packages, it's designed to be stable, which is a great thing. But the packages can be really old, which is why I tend to lean more towards Ubuntu, for my server stuff when needing that. Using Pop OS? Yeah, I'm using Pop OS right now. Battling between here and a roast duck and veggies. Okay. Being in and out today, Chief. New Year's Day, you got stuff going on. You don't have to apologize. I know y'all got lives. I appreciate y'all coming by, period. I know everyone's got lives here. I know many of you go and touch grass, except for you, Arch users. I started with Pop OS, but it was so buggy I used Nobara. Really? It was buggy for you? I, haven't really experienced bugs with Pop OS. But I'm on Pop OS 2204, and I've been on Pop OS 2204 for close to going on 4 years now, and I plan to upgrade to the new Pop OS version when they get, 2604 released.
So much
I know they have 2404, but I want to wait a few more months until they polish Cosmic a little bit more.
Aren't you?
A creature of legend. Yeah, just a little.
I think you have a new best friend.
SCA? Yeah. He's sweet.
I've heard some issues with Pop OS sporadically, mostly with people using it on laptops. Interesting. Because I use it on my laptops and I haven't had any issues.
And somehow he knows I'm a terrible... When he said that, it made me think of, you know...
Yeah, I thought it might. After the beach.
Always worked buggy and felt unfinished for me. Even Arctics work better on my machine. Weird, because I've been using Pop OS for years and not had issues, whether it be on my laptops or my desktop here. Hate that, for example, Fortnite doesn't work on Linux, even though they basically made a port for it. That has everything to do with Riot. Is it Riot that runs the game? No, and their stupid kernel-level anti-cheat.
Fill in the blanks.
Like Apex Legends used to work on Linux, then EA said, nope, we're going to change the anti-cheat. And they blamed Linux for being like, you know, most of the cheaters and stuff. But look at all the games that have kernel-level anti-cheats, and they're still complaining about cheaters. Oh, and did y'all hear about that, apparently... Valorant and League of Legends, and I think a couple other games they had, were blocking users from logging in because there was a BIOS update that they had to do because they found their IOMMU things that were not working as well. And I remember I called this issue out. We talked about it in a couple streams ago, that I'm like, there's no reason why games should be doing kernel level, and then they're now talking about getting into IOMMU requirements and all that. And now they're forcing people to do a BIOS update to be able to play the games. And here's the thing. BIOS updates are scary to the average user. They are risky. Do not get me wrong. Sometimes I feel the butt pucker when I do a BIOS update, but the difference is I have BIOS flashbacks on my motherboards. Not everyone does, and when they do run into an issue, they may not know what to do. That may be the older computer.
And I understand. I'm just glad Lune found you. Just like whoever found
I just plug in my UPS doing BIOS. Oh, I use BIOS all the way. Valorant anti-cheat is just straight up rad, it feels like. Well, every kernel level anti-cheat is a basic, you know, spyware.
I like having you in my life.
Yeah, I need to BIOS update this motherboard still, and it does spook me. Yeah, like, I have to update this motherboard over here for the stream PC still. Excuse me. This one, I just updated the BIOS because I had to replace the motherboard because the old motherboard died when I repasted it for some reason. Don't know what happened. And then I updated the BIOS on it immediately. The girl on screen kept blinking periodically. They really did pay attention to detail. Yeah?
Same.
This has actually been a really great game. This studio definitely...
You finally found someone who loves rocks more than you.
So it's...
Thoughts on Haiku OS? I know it's not Linux, but it's not Windows. I played with Haiku, actually, quite a few streams ago. I was talking about BOS, which was an operating system I think was incredibly ahead of its time. BOS was like a really performant operating system. I would like to see Haiku get more mainstream appeal, but I feel like it's always going to be a niche operating system. Much like React OS, at least until React OS gets mainstream appeal, and then possibly we can have an open source Windows replacement.
I thought Francois was your best friend.
Clear Obscure is overrated. Why? Because people actually enjoy it? I'm enjoying it just fine. Okay, where's... Wait, what?
Oi.
Isn't React OS basically open source Windows? Yeah, pretty much. That's their goal.
Sarah.
I'm gonna get this game because by making fun of Ubisoft, Rayman 4 will never come out. Or, how about game studios stop doing cash grabs and just doing sequels to games at, you know, the worst, effort possible just to get more money? Like, what was it? Like Borderlands 4. Borderlands 4 was a piece of garbage compared to Borderlands 3. Do I still want to finish that game? Yes, but it's optimized like crap. The CEO is so out of touch and is like, well, if you just have, you know, modern hardware. Borderlands 3 basically ran on my Ryzen laptop over there, which is an APU. Saying that a game is overrated is like saying that some distro is bad because you don't like it. Exactly. There are things that are overrated. That ain't one of them. This isn't Schedule 1. No, it's not. But by setting it to Schedule 1, TikTok doesn't F with me as much. Listen to you, like humans. If you ever just refine us, shall reward you the most precious gratitude. No, it's so, okay. Are you playing on Linux? Because I understand Steam can work on Linux. Yeah, I'm playing on Linux. I use Steam for, of course, Steam, and then I have Heroic Launcher for GOG and Amazon and Epic games like Rocket League. I got through the Epic Store. Lutris was... Lutris is used for the games that I don't get through the stores, like my Tribes 2 game that I got way back when. Wait. Is it here? Nope. Nope. Rocket League works on Linux? Oh yeah, hell yeah! I should play that again sometime. I think that was like one of the earliest games we did streams of regularly. Yeah. Just depending on how you got it, if you originally got it through Steam, just play it there. And then if you got it through Epic, then you just install Heroic Launcher, and then install Rocket League from there after you log into your account. Pretty straightforward. Isn't showing up. What's not showing up? I hate that uninformed people think that games still don't work on Linux. It's not 2008. Hey, in 2008, I was playing Doom 3, Quake 4, and Enemy Territory Quake Wars on Linux. I will have you know that. Okay, yeah, there wasn't a lot of games on Linux, but I was doing it! You were born in 2008. Okay, you're banned for making me old? You make me feel old? Ban? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Wasn't even born in 2008. I was born in the 90s. Go live notifications are only showing YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. Oh, but not TikTok? Interesting. Thoughts on GZ Doom getting replaced? I haven't used GZ Doom in a while, but there have been many alternatives to old Doom playing for a long time.
Those who can't see. Those who know.
People would accept Linux if there was a standard that was applicable to everyone, especially old.
And those who live.
You work in cybersecurity, blue team, red team, SOC, blue team. I'm a cybersecurity engineer.
Forgotten. And thus absolved. A fresh dawn in their playground.
It isn't even showing up on TikTok. Interesting. But I got plenty of people coming through the chat.
We are but a fragile dream. A singular weed.
I don't know how many are in the chat right now, but yeah.
Ever resisting. That iron dirt. That eternal law.
Ooh, they blocked you. You see it? I don't know. TikTok's been weird. The thing is, TikTok hasn't been the most reliable platform, period, which is why I live stream to, you know, TikTok, Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. I go everywhere my content and audience is. Oh, TikTok is absolutely a nightmare platform for creators. It is. I will agree with you on that. It's me, Chief, Cara, see, personal. Okay, cool. Yeah, TikTok is definitely a nightmare for, creators. I hate the fact that it's my largest platform by far. That's why I've been working so much on, the YouTube stuff. Alright, we're gonna take a quick break for a second because nature is calling, more like screaming at me. I'll be gone for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. There's just gonna be a BRB screen. You're not gonna miss anything. And then we'll get right back to it. So, be right back, chat. Okay, we're back. Is everyone here a black hacker? No. The reality is